begin. As you guys can see, again, don't forget weather maps and scripts, get those completed. We've got projects due on March 1st, and we've got a test next week in the form of 3 separate quizzes. Number 1, what state of matter is lightning? 2, what is a Faraday cage? And 3, what is the cloud coverage, weather, and wind speed and dew point of the symbol on the right? So go ahead. If you have answers to any of those, I'll give you guys 10 seconds to put your answers in for bonus participation. Otherwise, I will lead the way if need be. So give you guys 10 seconds, get situated there. See if you got any answers for any of those questions. I know, yeah, we should be able to answer all of those, hopefully. All right. Okay, so let's, I got an answer here. Awesome, okay. Great job, Joseph. Number 1 is gonna be plasma, guys. Lightning is in the form of plasma. It's like a supercharged, superheated gas. Okay, so great job, Joseph, give you credit for that. Number 2, okay, we have what is a Faraday cage? That is the idea that a car or plane, okay, being inside of a car or plane, you are completely safe from the electricity, because what's going to happen is the electric current is going to go around on the outside of the metal. It's not going to go inside the metal and reach you when you're inside the car or the plane. So again, those materials, those automobiles, modes of transportation are completely safe in lightning. And then lastly, number 3, we got to break down the symbol, right? We got to know these symbols for our test next week. Got to know these symbols, right? Okay, so if we look here, we got the cloud coverage. It's half, because half of this circle is filled up, right? Next, we've got our weather is thunderstorms, because we can see the zigzag symbol, all right? If it's dots, it's rain. If it's an asterisk, it's snow, asterisk symbol. Next, we've got our wind speed in knots. Again, as you can see here, we've got 2.5 feathers at the end of the line. So every full line, full feather, I call it, is going to be worth 10. So 2.5 is going to be 25, and then dew point is always going to be the bottom left number. That is going to be 66. Again, the top left number is the temperature, and the top right number is the pressure. Okay. So again, if I'm going too fast, obviously make sure to have pictures, or get this at a later time from the YouTube video, etc. So again, I'm going to leave this up for a moment for pictures, and we'll move on. I'm going to keep things quick today. All right, go ahead, update your table of contents, guys. Again, pages 20 to 21, we're going to do tornadoes, which we're starting today. Again, we're starting tornadoes today. And then we've got 22 to 23, that is tropical events and hurricanes. We're going to get into that later this week, probably maybe tomorrow. We'll just see. Get into that later this week. So we are going to start that tomorrow, actually. So continuing tornadoes and starting hurricanes tomorrow. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. We've got our first question of the day. I hope I didn't show this yesterday. Did I show this yesterday, guys? Somebody let me know. Did I show this already?
No.
I did not. Oh, appreciate it. Okay, well, if you go to page 17, we drew the clouds and the arrows. So we got to know, based on the arrows and the cloud, what stage is it in? What stage is it in? Is it going to be A, cumulus, B, mature, C, dissipating, or D, convection? Please answer the question in the chat. Answer the question in the chat. Participation. Making sure you guys are with me here. Thank you, Joseph. Again, please answer the question in the chat. Thank you, Tatiana. I think I still need Lakia, Melissa, Sanaya, Yorkies, Amira, Angel, Daniela. All right, thank you, Yorkies. Thank you, Sanaya. And 1 second, I'm just gonna do one thing real quick. 1 second. Okay. Hold on. Just had to fix one thing. Okay. Okay, let me see. 1 second, guys. I'm trying to fix something real quick. Okay. Here's the question again. Sorry for that. Please answer in the chat. Okay. So let's go ahead and continue, guys. The correct answer, if you look closely, we see we have a cloud here, and the cloud only has updrafts, updraft arrows, right? So that's going to be a baby thunderstorm. We call that A, the cumulus stage. Let me see if I can find, I'm trying to get the chat to pop up, but I just had, some people signed out. Make sure we're here if we signed out. Okay, so let's go ahead. I think I had to shout out for Daniela. Great job for getting the answer right. Sanaya, great job. And Tatiana, fantastic job. So again, this is the baby storm. If it's got updrafts and downdrafts, it's going to be mature. If it's got just downdrafts, it's dissipating. You're going to see that on the quizzes next week, so make sure you understand that. All right. We already did this yesterday, so we're going to skip that. I think we haven't done this yet. So on page 21, let's just define the word tornado. We're just going to say it's a violent whirling column of air in contact with the ground. It's going to decimate and destroy everything in its path. Okay. Let's see here. Make sure you guys can see everything okay. All right. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about what aren't tornadoes. Again, take a picture. If you need more time, take a picture. Let's talk about what aren't tornadoes, though. Water spouts aren't considered real tornadoes, as well as these whirling columns of wind that aren't connected to clouds called dust devils. Okay, so these are not considered tornadoes. They're not from a supercell. They're in dry, desert-like areas. Let's check out some cool examples of these. One second. So let's go ahead and check out the dust devils here. I'm going to show you a little glimpse of this. In the middle of Arizona, like I said, deserts where the ground gets so hot that the dirt turns into a powder and it gets picked up by the wind and maybe makes a cyclone. Really cool, really cool. This person was driving around it. And yeah, guys, I muted it on purpose because just random commentary that I don't think we need. Okay, so yeah, just very quick, really cool. Again, I gotta be careful around these. I mean, they're not necessarily super dangerous, but they can blind you with getting all the dirt in your eyes. They can the dirt can get in your lungs, and it can really affect your breathing badly. And it can mess up your car if all that dirt gets in your car grill as well. So things to be worried and concerned with in general. So don't take these seriously. Don't think they're just all fun, right? Here's another one that was formed in the middle of a softball game.
Delayed this college softball game for a short time. So how do they form?
Check it out.
Normally, under clear, calm conditions, the sun can heat up one part of the ground faster than others.
Turns into a powder.
Air begins to rise over this hot spot, pressure's lower, and nearby air begins to spiral in. This column stretches upward, intensifying the spinning motion. Winds increase and swirl around the low pressure. The swirling air can pick up dust and dirt, giving you a dust devil. They can stretch from 10 feet to over 100 feet wide, and the winds can exceed 80 miles per hour.
Hit to a bare minimum tornado.
Can get strong enough in that
F0
on the enhanced Fujita scale to cause minor damage. They can rotate clockwise or counterclockwise and also appear in groups. Dust devils are cool to look at and less destructive than tornadoes, and they've even been spotted on Mars.
All right, so cool ideas there, guys, with our dust devils. Again, those are not going to be tornadoes. They're just wind picking up dirt, wind picking up debris. All right, so let's go ahead, write what's in red on page 21. I do want you to know what the ingredients are for a tornado. We spoke about the ingredients of a thunderstorm, which are very similar to that of a tornado's, right? But we have a little key difference here. So 1 second. Again, let's see. Okay. Just got to fix attendance real quick. All right. So what do we have as our ingredients? We've got a supercell. We need a super strong thunderstorm. We need strong updrafts and downdrafts. Again, no, a regular small thunderstorm won't make a tornado. You need a really strong, massive one. Okay. And those winds, as they push up, they make the storm stronger and larger. And as they pull down, they're going to pull down the cloud to the ground. And then lastly, most importantly, you're going to need horizontal wind. That's like a side-winding, side-swiping wind that's going to really fuel that spinning and that rotation in that vortex, right? Kind of like when you see somebody try to balance a basketball on their finger and they got to keep side-swiping the ball to keep it spinning. The same thing's going to happen with the tornado forming. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on then to our next really cool video. I'm going to show you a video of what it's like to go inside of a tornado. We've got an armor-plated car that's got plexiglass windows that can withstand tornado winds. Again, this is extremely dangerous. Storm chasers can sometimes become victims of these storms if they're not careful enough. So, and it can be a fatal situation. So let's check out what the inside of a tornado looks like from that perspective. Luckily, these storm chasers did survive. Let's check it out. Really cool stuff, really cool stuff. Again, really annoying commercials. Double advertisements, right? What the YouTube doing now? Hey, about the volume, guys, you're going to notice. Again, it starts off as like just water and wind, which is going to be dangerous in itself because if water is hitting you at a fast enough speed, it feels like a solid. But then it becomes nothing but debris and visibility is very low. So pretty crazy. And then you're going to see a part of the video where debris hits the plexiglass so hard at such an intense speed that it lights up and causes the window to crack and spark like fire. So pretty crazy, intense stuff. Let's check it out. Like the inside of a water vacuum. So now we see more mud and dirt covering the windows. There's some grass hitting the window. So think of like being inside of a vacuum and a lawnmower. What it's like. And there's the spark. Guys, see that? The debris hits it so hard that it lights up the window. Wow. Right there. One more time. Pretty cool. Again, intense speeds. That's how strong these storms can get. Pretty cool stuff. Okay. Let's move on to our last thing I want you guys to write for the day, which is going to be tornado classification. You don't need to write the chart. I'll give you the chart on questions. Okay. But you do need to write the 2 yellow bullets on the left, okay? So we need to know that this scale is called the Fujita Tornado Intensity Scale. This is going to rank tornadoes based on their destruction, okay, their duration, and their wind speed especially. So tornadoes do go faster than hurricanes. They can reach winds up to speeds of 200 to 300 miles per hour. So very intense, very fast, very strong, even though they are much smaller than hurricanes. Duration is how long they last. So the average tornado is going to last like 12, 15 minutes. But the worst tornadoes can last hours. And then the weakest of these is going to be F0. starting at 40 miles per hour, and the strongest is going to be F5. F5. Okay, so last thing I want you guys to write for the day. All right. Before we do a card question, let's do one last video. It's a really good video, kind of breaking down the different levels of tornadoes, the different intensities, the different F0 through F5. Let's check that one out. It's a really good video. I'm going to play just the first 5 minutes here. So a tornado hits the Weather Channel station. Let's see what it's like.
Tornadoes are one of the most feared and destructive forces on the planet, capable of producing catastrophic damage in a matter of seconds. And it's that trail of destruction that is used to determine the tornado's rating. It's called the Enhanced Fujita Scale, or EF scale. And today, all the ingredients are coming together for some big storms. Let's take a look outside. Trouble is already brewing. We've got a tornado warning for that cell right there. This is when you and your family need to get to your safe place to ride out the storm. Wow, take a look at this storm. It's incredible. Great looking structure here, guys. We've got rotation going on at the base here. All right, a lowering of that base. We call this a supercell, by the way. A rotating thunderstorm is a supercell. Not all of them produce tornadoes.
Gotta have a strong thunderstorm, right?
We're watching this base, it's lowering. Almost looks like there's a funnel starting to appear from the wall cloud. Yes, there it is. Do we have debris on the ground? Yes, we do. There's a debris cloud, a connection. Now you have a tornado on the ground at this time. When tornadoes form, they're not usually that wide, okay? Just like this one. But it's important to point out that size doesn't always equate to the intensity. Today, there's a mobile Doppler radar actually feeding back real-time wind speeds. And I'm being told that those wind speeds are approaching about 85 miles per hour. So that's likely going to be an EF0. All right, EF0 damage here is tree branches thrown around, some roof shingles peeled back. But hold on, let's look at this tornado. It's going from more of a rope now to a much thicker tornado, much wider tornado. Looks more like a stovepipe now. It's called a stovepipe because it resembles one. This could produce EF1 damage, potentially. All right, 86 to 110 mile per hour winds here. Mobile homes now can be flipped or rolled, roofs severely damaged here, and there can be extensive power outages.
Burn F1, F1.
Look, when you got a tornado like this, power lines are going to fall, sometimes like dominoes, just like you see here. You got to stay clear of these, even if they don't appear to be live. They're still extremely dangerous. The ground may be energized around the pole, all right? Stand at least 40 feet away. And frankly, if you're standing where I am, you're way too close. Way too close. All right, that was intense. Let's keep looking at this tornado because it's still moving toward us. And from what I'm hearing from the Doppler on wheels, it is still intensifying. They're getting winds now 111 to 135 miles per hour. So this is likely an EF2, all right, if they can find the damage that is equal to that. Winds are now strong enough to not just roll a mobile home, but completely destroy it. Tear off complete roofs and send debris through the air like missiles. Jeez, how are you going to get out of the way of that thing? This is exactly why we need you away from all the exterior walls, because debris flying through the air like that leads to so many injuries and deaths in tornadoes. We're still under a tornado warning. The twister is now more than likely producing EF3 damage. Doppler winds exceed 150 miles per hour. This tornado is capable of severely damaging large structures and destroying well-constructed homes. Like this one that we brought into the studio. Roof's gone. The only thing left in this house are a few interior rooms. All right? The safest place in this house is the central.
Again, if you are in the path of a tornado, you need to go to the lowest level in your house, okay? You need to go to a room that has no windows, maybe like a bathroom. Hopefully, maybe there's a bathtub in there that can protect the bottom and the side of your torso when you have to duck down and take shelter. And then preferably, you want to put like something cover your back, cover the top of that with a blanket, right? Or some sort of covering. Wear a helmet, wear shoes, because there's going to be debris flying around that could severely injure you if a tornado goes in the path of your goes through your house. As you saw, that debris was thrown earlier. It can be very dangerous. Let's watch some more.
Bathroom. This is the lowest level that you should be in if you don't have a shelter that is below ground. Put as many walls between you and the outside that you can. And remember, when you go to take cover, grab a helmet, grab a sturdy pair of shoes, because you have to walk outside after the tornado, and that presents all kinds of new hazards. Clearly, an EF3 is life-threatening. Thank goodness less than 1% of all tornadoes in the U.S. are classified higher. The problem is, that's exactly what we're seeing here. The mobile Doppler radar now detecting winds in excess of 180 miles per hour. That is likely EF4 damage. I mean, look at the funnel. You can't even see it from edge to edge. This type of tornado is pulverizing everything in its path. Huge, heavy objects thrown into the air and carried several hundred feet. Oh, geez, you got to be kidding me. Look at this. This beat up 3,000-pound car. It was lofted by the tornado and tossed around like that piece of wood that we saw earlier. It could have come from a mile away. It's mangled. We got gasoline leaking out. That's even creating more hazards. You know, it's not unusual for tornadoes to displace large objects. In the past, a bus was carried a half a mile, a mattress some 40 miles, and paper lofted and carried over 200 miles,
200 miles
from
away.
its original starting place.
How strong these storms
Surely
can
this
get.
tornado is lofting objects up and centrifuging them out. It means business, and believe it or not, it is actually getting stronger. Look how massive this thing is. This is called a wedge tornado because it is wider than it is tall. They can be more than a mile across, sometimes even more than 2 miles across. Imagine that thing coming at you with 200-mile-per-hour winds. This is a deadly EF5. Lights, yeah, they're starting to flicker now. We're about to get hit. This is as bad as it gets. I'm grabbing my helmet, and I'm taking shelter now.
And we're going to skip ahead. Let's see the aftermath of the damage of
Sea of
this.
destruction as this area took a direct hit while we were away in our storm shelter. I mean, this is terrible. Homes completely wiped off their foundation here. Asphalt ripped up from the ground to the point where we don't even know what street that we're on here. Even automobiles stripped of their paint.
Okay.
We can
So
still
left with
smell
nothing
gas.
but mud and debris in a worst case scenario tornado. All right. Let's do our last question. Okay. Got to know these symbols, right? Okay. Go ahead and tell me the pressure, wind direction, and weather of the symbol. Is it A, B, C, or D? Again, know what number is pressure, which way is the line pointing, and what are the symbols on the left telling us about the weather. Please answer in the chat so I know you're with me. This is the last thing of the day. Answer in the chat, A, B, C, or D. All right. Thank you, Tatiana. Thank you, Joseph. I think Lakia. Thank you, Lakia. Thank you, Sanaya. All right. I need some more people. If you haven't answered yet, please answer. Participation. All right, I think I got some people getting it right. Thank you, Yorkies, Diego, Evelyn. Thank you so much. The answer is going to be letter C. Letter C. Again, it's going to be 46 because 046, the top right number, is the pressure. Wind direction is where the line points. That's going down. That's south. And weather are the dots on the left. That's going to be the rain. The rain, right? So again, that is the correct answer for that. Let me go